Seether, how have you been, Shaun?
I've been good, man. We've been good. What have you been up to?
Oh, just getting ready for the big show that is Lazer Fest.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is my world from the months of February to May when it all happens. But Sunday, May 15 at the Indianola Balloon Grounds, the same site that Seether helped us set an attendance record of over 25,000 at last year's show. We're very happy to have you back, obviously.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, that's great, man. Thanks for having us back. I'm just glad we finally got this album done and we're back out on the road, because for a while it didn't seem like we were actually going to get to that point.
Yeah, I feel as though we've got a lot to catch up on since we last spoke. The long wait for new music from Seether is nearly over, as in just a few minutes here, the world premiere of Country Song from the forthcoming album, Holding On to Strings Better Let to Fray. Do we have an official release date for that yet, Shaun?
Yeah, well, it's now been officially deemed May 17th, because we were going to release it on May 24th, but then the powers that be realized that, Lady Gaga is releasing an album on the same day. so none of us were necessarily in any sort of mood to deal with that. So we decided we'd move the album up a week and then at least have a fighting chance of getting some sort of placement in all the ads of the trade,
Sure. No, I absolutely love the release date. It is merely 2 days following the Lazer Fest 2011, so yeah. Nice timing on your part. As I just said, we'll be giving our listeners and your fans their first opportunity to hear Country Song in just a few minutes. But first, give me an idea of how the idea for this one came about.
Oh, it was just kind of a swampy riff that was being bandied around, and we started forming it into a song. That one was probably one of the first songs written for the album. I was in LA just messing around with it, and it started becoming this really cool, clash of different styles, but it seemed to work to us, And basically the name was it was one of those things. For this album, we spent a lot of time coming up when we were just writing songs. We would come up with stupid names for the songs, like Getting Lucky on the Dance Floor, and there were just all these ridiculous titles. And so Country Song was what we originally called this song, and it's just one of those things that it kind of endeared itself to us, and so it stuck with us. You know what I mean? And when we were asked what the song's name was, I said Country Song. They said, "Well, no, you can't have it called Country Song." I was like, "Well, here's the deal. The thing is, we really like it being called Country Song, just because it's not a country song."
That's right.
So but there was a silly name for a song that we thought that was kind of a cool way to pay homage to being in Nashville and being surrounded by that music scene and doing something completely different. But the people there are really cool, so we felt that it was tipping our hat to them,
Could you give me a timeline on when something like that came about? Because if I remember right in talking to you, last we spoke at Lazer Fest last year, at that time it sounded like the plan for this release was much different than how it ended up. Well,
it's one of those things, man. It all depends on when you finally have when everyone collectively feels that you finally have the right songs for the album. Because, you don't ever want to put anything else that, is not as good as the previous one. We felt like we'd raised the bar a little bit on the last album, and so we wanted to improve on that. And we had Brendan O'Brien producing it, and he's got an opinion on the songs as well. And so we ended up writing about, probably about 40 or 45, maybe 50 songs. And,
wow.
And of those, we cut it down to the best 20 songs that we could think of. And then we took those 20 and threw 10 away, and then we wrote again, you know what I mean? And so it was basically, we just kept pushing ourselves and kept seeing how much better we could get, and or at least how much better the songs could get, you know what I mean? And so ultimately, for example, I was writing a song just for a potential movie soundtrack, and I sent it into the label last week, and now next week we'll be recording that with Brendan in Nashville again. And it's possibly going to be on the album. So these things, I mean, we're almost up to the last minute trying to make this the best album we've done so far, you know what I mean?
I appreciate the insight on that, because I'm not sure people realize that, A, you write so many songs to be considered for an album release, and B, you just mentioned, even up to the last minute, you're still considering songs to be included. Yeah,
well, I mean, up until we actually went in and did a demo of this song last week, we just thought that the album was completed, And then I guess they really liked the song, and Brendan likes the song, and so the feeling was that maybe we needed to add this song to the album, not take anything else off, but add this just to sort of round it out a little bit better. And you think about that, we're now almost we're in the middle of March now, and we have an album coming out in the middle of May. So 2 months away, and we're still recording tracks for the album, which is kind of crazy. But I like to be kept guessing, because then I feel like when you're under pressure, you perform a little bit better.
One thing I've noticed, and we haven't even played the track yet, is the title itself provides an immediate reaction from the fans, some of whom jump to the conclusion that you'll be wearing cowboy hats and huge belt buckles from here on out.
Well, the thing is, man, it's interesting because people I've been reading things like that on Facebook and Twitter, and it's like, everyone's going, well, the band's gone country, and I'm like, no, we haven't gone country. The whole point of it is that we're not a country band. It's just kind of a joke. It's just us, like I said, paying homage to a city and to a culture that was really good to us while we were there. And we spent a good 6 months in total in Nashville. You know what I mean? And that's a long time to be in any place that you don't necessarily consider home.
Really looking forward to Lazer Fest 2011. Again, it's Sunday, May 15 at the Indianola Balloon Grounds. A great lineup of bands so far, including Stone Sour, Avenged Sevenfold, 3 Days Grace, Queensryche, Theory of a Dead Man, My Darkest Days, Bullet for My Valentine, and still more to be announced, and of course Seether too. So it's going to be a great show.
That's a killer lineup, man. I'm excited. I almost don't want to play. I just want to be a fan in the crowd for that show. I don't think we've played with Stone Sour since like 2003.
Wow.
And somehow that's just been the way it's worked out. So I'm really excited to see bands that I haven't seen in a while. Mostly, I'm just excited to be back out on the road, man. At this point, we haven't toured in 2 years. We haven't done a proper tour in 2 years, and all those festivals generally it's sort of like a big family gathering. If you've known the band for long enough, or if the bands have been out there long enough that we've managed to tour them. So that's also cool, because we just get to see a bunch of our friends that we haven't seen and just have a good time.
I think we've all been hungry for new music from this band, and we're just happy to hear that the album is looks like it's coming out on May 17th. Love it.
Yeah, man. I got to tell you, we're just really thankful that the people have had the patience to wait around, and we worked really hard, and I honestly believe that anyone that's a fan of this band won't be disappointed by this album.
Wow, you know what? I would agree with you 100% on that. A Seether fan is a Seether fan, after all. Holding On to Strings, Better Left to Fray, the new album in stores on May 17th. The world premiere of brand new Seether with Mr. Shaun Morgan as my witness. Here is Country Song on Lazer 103.3.